Hello and welcome to the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority Grants tutorial on procurement as it relates to your grant project. And what we mean when we say procurement is the process or the way in which you decide which vendors to hire, which vendors to contract with when you're getting services or materials for your project. And because all of the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority grants are state funding, they're taxpayer dollars, we need to make sure that the way in which you're deciding which vendors or contractors to work with is fair and equitable, and you're getting a good price for the work that you're contracting out or for the materials that you're purchasing. We want to make sure you're not just hiring the contractor who's most convenient, but that you've done your research and you're hiring the vendor or contractor who will be the best one for your project. In the case of government organizations, our policy for procurement with the Maryland Heritage Areas grants is very simple. We just require that you follow your own established procedures for procurement. As a government organization, we know that you already have those in place. Now, for nonprofits, our requirements are more specific. You can see details about those guidelines in the MHAA, Maryland Heritage Areas Grants Manual on pages 8 and 9, as it says there on the bottom of the slide. And for nonprofits, if you have a single expenditure in your budget, so we're not just talking about a single line item, but a single expenditure that you're going to make that's between $500 and $10,000. In that case, for that amount, you're required to get 2 written bids from different vendors or contractors so that you can compare prices. And when we say written bids, it doesn't need to be too much of a specific format. It can just be an email where they quote you with how much they would charge, for example. But it does need to be in writing. If you're making a single expenditure for over $10,000, in that case, we do require that you get 3 written bids from different vendors or contractors to compare those prices in the same way. Now, you're not required to take the lowest bid. We want you to select the bid, the vendor, the contractor that will be the best person or business to help you complete your project. You don't need to take the lowest one, but you do need to document the criteria that you're using to select that vendor or contractor. So write up why you're selecting the one that you did select, and keep that with your grant files. You don't need to turn in these bids to us as part of your reporting. You don't need to get them approved by us, but you do need to just have them with your files in case a question comes up. Now, in very, very specialized cases in which you need to work with a vendor or contractor that has a specialized skill set or materials, and there's really only one contractor that you can work with in your region, for example, then in those cases you may be eligible to do a sole source procurement because it just doesn't make sense for you to request those written bids. You already know you're going to work with this one contractor that's very specialized. So in that case, what you need to do is reach out to your project monitor and talk with them about why you want to do a sole source, make sure it sounds reasonable to them, and then you'll document that as well, and they can help you make sure you're documenting that in the right way. You're writing a memo to file, for example, to keep with your grant files that says, this is why we had to do a sole source. We talked to our project monitor about it, etc. The other policy that we have that relates to procurement is our minority business enterprise policy. And if you are receiving a grant that's an MHAA capital grant for over $90,000, $90,000 or greater, you must complete one of these minority business enterprise plans. And you'll get that plan with your grant agreement when you receive that to sign. And you'll be asked to set a percentage goal for your project. what percentage of the project costs, both your grant and your match, should go to a minority business enterprise. And you might set a goal that you want 50%, you want 70%, 25%. It's really up to you what you think will be reasonable for your project. But this is something we want you to be thinking about from the very beginning of your project. And it's not a requirement for you to actually achieve that goal. We understand sometimes things change with who you need to work with, what bid you get, etc. But it is required that you make your best effort to achieve the goal. And if you're pursuing a sole source procurement, because again, the work is very specialized, then you may be eligible for a waiver for this requirement as well. And to sum up, all of our procurement policies with the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority are just to make sure that you're using your taxpayer dollars that are received through the grant in a way that's equitable, a way that's fair, a way that is a good use of those dollars. So if you have any questions about these policies whatsoever, check out those pages in the grants manual, and please feel free to reach out to your project monitor. That's either myself, Ennis Smith, Jennifer Ruffner, or Andrew Arvizu. You can see our emails there on the screen. And if you don't know who your project monitor is, just reach out to any one of us and we can point you in the right direction. Thank you for watching the tutorial, and good luck with your grant project.